Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's Belinda here. It is the first Friday of August, and for those of you who are regulars around here, you'll know what that means. It means it's time for the monthly masterboard challenge. I'm really excited for this one. I don't quite know why, but I just am. Maybe it's because I'm making a masterboard. So I have prepared my base. I've collaged up the back of it. Now normally I don't do this before the challenge, but this time I did. So I just used up some scraps, neutral scraps, and that's the writing side. This is going to be the side that I'm going to build today's collage on. So the theme for today is patterns versus plains. Does that sound interesting? I hope it sounds interesting. I'm just going to grab out my patterned papers here. So I am using a set of digitals from Anne Constantly Carding, and she sells through Crafts You Print. Now I'll put the links in the description box so you don't have to worry about how that's spelt or whatever if that is a new site for you. It's more focused on card making, so you can go there and buy card making kits that include like focal images, background pages, text, etc. So don't discount that in your junk journaling. It's a great resource. You can get some great stuff through card making places. And if you came to junk journaling through card making, which I guess essentially I did do that, there's a lot of ways that you can inject your card making skills and supplies into junk journals. Like nothing is ever wasted. So this, I can't remember the name of the kit. I do apologize. I'll put it in the description box below. It's just gone out of my brain. These first two pages are actually printed at 50%. So I printed them off 2 to a page at half size to get a more condensed print. And there's 4 background pages in this kit, and they're beautiful florals, and kind of they all partner quite well. This particular pattern is slightly different colorway, but I still think they work together. Lots of pinks, blues and oranges kind of tie it together, and little spots of a goldy yellow, and then there's some bits that tend towards red. These are the full-sized pages, so I think they're just beautiful. Beautiful colors, beautiful pattern that's going to be really great to add into backgrounds. Oops, upside down. This one, and then this more sort of autumn toned one with these beautiful teal blues and smoky grey blues. Quite pretty, quite pretty. And then this one, which is more of the brighter blues with the oranges and little touches of yellow. So they are the 4 designs in this kit, and I was actually going to print these off 4 to a page so that they were even like journal card size, but I forgot. But for today's project, we don't need those anyway. I'm going to start with these larger ones, so I'm going to trim off the white to start with. I think I'll just use my ruler and tear them. And then plains, I've chosen out a few pieces of paper that are plain that I feel will work with these colours. So for your patterns, you can use whatever you like. You can use digitals, you can use scrapbook paper, whatever you've got in your stash. Sorry, it's just a bit hard to talk over top of the tearing. So yeah, whatever you've got in your stash. It could be wrapping paper or magazine images or whatever. I'm choosing to go with things that coordinate together, but you don't have to. You could use totally random bits and pieces and make it a very eclectic masterboard. So I haven't said the technique yet. I'll get to that in a moment, just once we've prepared these papers. Maybe I'll pause the camera and just do the tearing, because it's probably going to take a few minutes to get everything torn out. So I'll just give me a moment and I'll be right back. Right, they are all torn out. So let's look at the planes that I've chosen out. One of them I'm not entirely sure on. So there's this bit of note paper lined on one side, but I'm going to use the plain side, that I feel picks up some of the yellows in there. I didn't want a bright yellow. This is more goldy, which I think works. The blue works for me. I think that ties in beautifully. The pink also I think works. It's this one that I'm not sure whether it's actually too bright. Might be too dominant. So either we'll use just little touches of it or we might leave it out. I don't know, but it's an option. So that's my papers all prepared and ready to go. Now the technique that we're using today is torn strips. And the idea here is not to get perfectly torn strips. So I'm not going to sit here with a ruler and tear straight strips. That's not what I'm after for this. And you will notice that this is not wide enough for my base, which is actually ideal for what I want to do. So I'm just going to start with this top one, and I'm going to tear a strip, you know, a strip. Don't be too worried about jiggity jaggies, because it's going to be layered up and we'll hide what doesn't suit us, and we will patch gaps where there may be gaps. But essentially strip sort of shapes. Give or take lumpy bumpy bits. So don't be too precious about it. Don't worry, but you know, if your paper's not tearing right. You don't need to be straight or perfect. Just a fun little collaging masterboard. Right, so we've got a bit here. So let's grab, do we want to try the orange? Let's try a bit of the orange and see what it's going to look like. So I've just got to think what I'm doing here. I don't want a lot of orange, I don't think. I think it's, by itself, it's just going to be too dominant. Trying to think, I actually want the torn bit on the other side, really. Maybe I'll just do a strip at the top. Yeah, let's just put that little bit there. So patterns versus plains. So mixing up patterns with plain paper to create your masterboard. Sound like fun? I hope it's fun. Right, let's go for a different pattern. And this time I might try and tear just a little bit straighter. Doesn't matter at all. And you can make them as wide or as narrow as you like. Depends how much time you want to spend on your masterboard. I'm thinking maybe I'll put it that way. Yep, let's put it that way. And I might just glue on my masterboard actually, I think, until it gets too gluey. So pretty much going to alternate the side that's got the gap on the edge, and that's going to help us kind of, I think it will improve the composition. So let's go for a bit of pink, maybe plain pink. Yeah, I think this is going to be fun. I have to be honest and say I haven't done a masterboard in this manner before, but I thought, you know, when I was sort of what's the word, brainstorming ideas for the challenge, for this challenge before I started it. Just torn strips was one of the ideas that came to me, and patterns versus plains, because I made 2 lists, one of techniques, one of themes, and then as I go through I match them up and like which pair do I want to do this month. And this one just seemed to really work for me. It just gelled in my brain and goes, yeah, I think that might be quite nice. Right, this time I don't think I'm going to take it all the way across. Or do I? Maybe I do. I don't want quite that much there though. So you can trim down. If you want to take a little bit off, go for it. Make it how you want it. Okay, so we've got a gap there, but that's fine because we'll just patch that with our plain. And you can inject more plains than I am. You could do less patterns. But I would encourage you to mix up plains and patterns in some form to some degree, because that's part of the challenge. So I'm just making sure that I overlap here so we've got no gap, and then the rest I can plug. Bit of this yellow maybe, and I want to get away from the straight edge here. Actually, it's a little bit thick. And then I'll just take off that square end in case it's visible, so we don't have just like that sharp edge appearing in amongst all our wonderful torn edges. Oh, that was a bad idea. I've now got glue on the front of my strip of paper. Can I get that off with a wet wipe without damaging the paper? Oh, it may be damaged, but that's okay. It'll just add character. Not going to worry about it. Okay, might go back to that first one. Use your finger to guide it if you would like it kind of a bit more even on the tear, a bit straighter. Okay, so we've got a gap here, which is fine. We will pop maybe another different colour plain in there to plug that gap. Oh, got some fluff in that glue, but that's okay. It'll get sandwiched in our masterboard. I was going from this end, wasn't I? Sorry if my head's in the way. I'm just trying to see where the edge of the paper is. Okay, I'm thinking maybe a little smidge of orange. Just a little touch. Is that big enough? No, it's not quite big enough. Let's try that again. That's better. Yep, just like that. Perfect. So the orange is working, but I think in smaller doses. Okay, right, let's go this one. We haven't used this one yet. We've got a gap here, but we can plug that over top, I think. looking at which way round I want it. I think we'll go that way. Can you see how the patterns are starting to blend together and creating a different pattern? Just going to change out my glue page here. So I think that's the benefit of using ones that coordinate, is that you actually end up creating a whole new pattern. And the torn edge makes it look more organic and natural rather than like pattern, 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 pattern. They're starting to blend together. If you're using ones that don't partner, you'll get a different look. And that's fine. Like, there's no wrong way here, guys. Just do it according to what you've got, what you like. Right, maybe a bit of blue. Haven't used blue yet. But I'm really, really happy with how this is shaping up. I think it's starting to look really, really pretty. So I need it thicker at this end, but I want it to taper off. Yep. So how's your week been? Has it been a good one, my friends? And how are you today? Are you ready for the weekend? I'm always ready for a weekend. Even though I work from home, I'm always ready for a weekend. Hubby home, you know, change of what we do or what I do. You know, that's what weekend is. It's a change to your weekday routine, whatever that may look like. So I'm always up for a good weekend. Always looking forward to it. Spending more time with my hubby. Those flowers are upside down. I don't care. I think it looks fine. Now I've used that one up there, so maybe back to this one. You can use more or less patterns. I'm sticking with the 4, I think, because overall it's going to give me a more coordinated look, I feel. Okay, glue stick. Keep putting my glue stick down on different sides of the desk, and then it's like, go to grab it and it's like, oh, where is it? Where did I last leave it? Oh, my glue page is already needed changing out because my paper is sticking to it. Now you could choose to plug that with just another strip of the same paper if you choose, and I think this time I will. Just a wee snippet. Okay, so wee gap over here. I think I'll put some pink. Don't know where my other strip of pink went. Just tear another one. Still finding the odd little not gluey patch on my glue page, but I'll have to change it over shortly. Okay, now I think I would like a longer strip of something. Can we do this? By the time we tear it, it's not going to be as long, but that's okay. So I'm not sure what we're up to for the weekend. The weather's not great. It's very cold. I think I'll put that right in the middle there. Let's change out my glue page. It's now gluey on both sides, so I'm going to put that out of harm's way in the rubbish. Yep, come off the glue stick. Good way to use your scraps too if you have ones that are long enough to tear into strips. Might add that there. So I'm overlapping as well, making sure some go under, some go over, to just keep it fresh and alternating what the final result will look like. So this is the same paper as this bit that I'm patching with. Did I have another bit of it? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I've got to tear a new strip. Oh well, is that the same one? No, it's not the same one. Checking that I didn't have another bit of it already torn. No, can't see. Can't see another bit, so it must be used up what I had. Yes, I don't know what we're up to this weekend. Possibly not a lot. We haven't made any plans as of yet. I'm sure hubby will let me know if he decides we're going to do something. Right, we haven't used this one. We've only used this one once up near the top, so I feel like it's time to bring this one back. Oops, dragging bits of paper off the desk with my sleeve. That one there. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I feel like we do have something on, but for the life of me, I can't imagine what it would be. Or maybe I'm getting ahead of myself because we're making plans for the middle of August for a weekend, well, spending a night away at my mum's and doing some shopping and things. So making plans for that. Maybe that's just in the forefront of my mind that I'm getting confused on what time we're up to. So maybe, oh, I've already got a strip of this. Which one do I want to use? I think that one would be okay there, so let's just put that one down. Oh, going through a million glue pages. Well, slight exaggeration, but a lot of glue pages. Doesn't take much for them to get goopy. So we're getting through this masterboard. Do I want to go up that high? Actually, why not? Let's just let it fall where it wants to go. That's okay. And then we'll just put another strip down here. Maybe I do a strip of pink like that. That would be quite nice too, wouldn't it? Down a fraction. Okay, what pattern would we like to pop on next? This one. I might like it slightly straighter than what I've got there, so I might tear off 2 strips. tear off that one and then tear one that's just a little bit more straight. Hopefully, that's my goal. Still with an interesting jaggedy edge, but not as extreme on the humps and bumps, the hills and the hollows. So actually it might work better to have the humps and the hollows. Okay, yes, I'm actually going to use the humps and the hollows. And then plug the gap that I've ended up with. Quite a thick, wide strip, this one, that I'm gluing. Oh, neighbour's got some loud music on. They must have just arrived home in the car. You can tell when they arrive home because it's usually accompanied by music, which is fine. Just kind of like a telltale sign. Oh, they've just got home. Somebody's just got home. Right, what colour? Maybe a bit of orange again. Because we've just got a couple of patches up there. Let's do another orange bit. Yeah, so if you have a dominant colour, one that seems just a bit too bright or whatever, too different, it might still work in smaller doses. Just a little touch of orange, because there is orange in these papers, but this is just quite that vibrant orange. Do we want to put a bit across, just plug that little gap? Maybe we do. Let's give it a straight edge. And reduce its footprint somewhat. Yep. Oh, I'm really liking this, guys. Hope you're inspired to give it a go. Right, I think I want to go back to this more autumny one. Yep, nice. I am really, really happy with how this turned out, and I wasn't entirely sure, like, oh, there goes the fire siren. Wasn't entirely sure how it would turn out, not having done this particular method before, but I was keen to give it a go, and I'm so happy I decided to go with it. Right, which way up did I have it? That way? Doesn't really matter, I suppose. And next week we get the fun of tearing it up and making some things with our beautiful torn strip masterboard. So I hope you're keen to come back and join me then and make some ephemera with it. Yeah, put that there. Oops, that was close. It almost rolled off the end of my desk. The glue stick, that is. Oops, and I just gouged it out. That was its punishment for trying to run away on me, was that I gouged it out on the paper. So I'm going to put it over a bit and just trim off that bit where I've got goopy glue on the front of my paper, rather than try and wash it off. We'll just cut it off. Okay, we're getting down to the final, so I think that one would almost fill the bottom. We'll fill the bottom at one point, and then we can taper that off with a final bit of a plain. Okay. So this is all completely glued, but some of it will be trimmed off when I trim along the bottom. Okay, so we just need a strip here that's going to wrap, and I think blue might be what I... Oh, here's a strip already torn. So you almost like making contours of a landscape, if you think of it in those terms. Which makes me think that doing it in greens, shades of green, would actually be quite effective. And again, I've ended up with a big smear of glue on the front. Can I push it over and cut it off? Yes, that will work. I've got enough to do the job. Just flip it over, cut off that gluey bit, because it's got glue on both sides. Messy, messy. Trim it up on the bottom. Let me just put a lid on my glue stick, because we are done with that now. Just make a bit of space so you can actually see it once it's done. Trim up any overhang from around the edges that you might have. It's a nice sturdy weight now with all those layers of paper. Just got a bit on this edge, a couple of patches, and I think the rest is good. Oh, look at that, hairy scissors, yuck, and sticky too. Gross. Now I need to try and get it off my fingers into the rubbish. Come on, get off of there. Right, okay, let's turn it over and have a look. So this is our torn strip, plains versus patterns, or patterns versus plains, whichever way, masterboard. I think it is really cool. I am very, very happy with how it turned out. And once it's cut into sections, I think it's just going to be so pretty. Like, it's going to make beautiful ephemera. So I hope you give it a go. Grab out your pattern papers, any whatever sort. Grab out some plain papers that will work with it. And tear some strips. Have some fun. Glue them down and join me next Friday. And let's make some ephemera together. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great weekend, whatever you're up to. Make it a good one, a safe one, and a happy one. See you now. See you now? That's not what I meant to say. What a way to end a video. See you again soon. Bye for now.